What up? And welcome to Daytime Talk After Dark. My name is Al Jackson, but that is unimportant. What is important is I am joined by two lovely ladies and two very close friends of mine. One of them is Winnie.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was good.
One of them is one of my great friends, somebody I love dearly, Tori Shulman in the building. How you feeling?
I'm feeling so good. I know I'm dressed for the wrong season, but happy to be here.
No, dress for the season you want.
Thank you.
There we go. That's right. And next to you is my girl joining us. It's always a pleasure when you're here, Erica, because you're a borderline jet setter.
Borderline, she is a jet setter.
I think you have to have a jet to be a jet setter.
I know. I'm working on that.
She is.
I made a mind movie. If you haven't heard of those, it's basically like a vision board, except you go on Canva and make your movie about the life that you're manifesting.
Stop.
And so I made one, and there may have been a jet on it.
All right.
There may have been a jet.
I don't trust myself with the jet. Also, if Erica did get a jet, I'd be really happy for her, and then me and Tori would text off thread and kind of hate on you.
That's okay.
I don't know if I could handle a Fred with a jet.
Well, I've been succeeding on Spite Alone since 1981. So.
Would you rather have a jet or a boat?
A jet.
Definitely a jet.
Yeah, a jet's better. But a boat is like, yeah, you're right.
Slow and you get sick.
Okay, great talk.
Well, speaking of getting sick, yesterday was St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
I don't drink, so I didn't know it happened. But I wanted to know, what did you guys do? Tori Shulman, what did you do for St. Paddy's? Any green beer?
I wore some green. I wore a green hat, green beanie. And, it really takes place a long time ago. If you all don't know about St. Patrick, he was trying to get rid of the rats within the city. Al's asleep. And anyway, that's St. Patrick's Day.
Well, actually, something that Al wouldn't sleep on. First of all, I didn't do anything for St. Patrick's Day, which my husband and I were like, that's so weird because St. Patrick's Day used to be our thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we'd go out and we walked out the door and, we're surrounded by a lot of bars and restaurants and everyone was in green and we were like, oh, like completely went over our heads. But someone else who had some information on St. Patrick's Day, Tori, is our sponsor, Positive Energy Campaign.
Oh, please tell us more.
Which actually posted all about St. Patrick's Day and going green and how you can go green.
If you're not wearing green on St. Patrick's Day, watch out, you might get pinched. But there are other ways to go green that don't involve your outfit. Start with reusable items. No matter where you're celebrating, bring your own cup, water bottle, and even straw to help reduce waste. If you're going to a parade or party, carpooling or riding your bike is a way to reduce emissions. You can also go green at home. LED lights use 90% less energy. And taking a second to unplug electronics around your house or using a smart power strip can help save energy when your electronics are not in use, eliminating wasted phantom energy. Finally, now's a great time to get your air conditioner ready for summer. Check that it's running efficiently and seal any gaps around windows, doors, or vents to keep the cool air inside. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Energy can be complicated and sometimes a divisive topic, but at Positive Energy Campaign, they're breaking down everything that we need to know as consumers because, of course, we want to know why there aren't any eggs in the grocery
Where are
stores.
the eggs?
Okay.
Yes.
How does this affect our bottom line, the money in our pockets? And it doesn't need to be political. It just needs to be informative. So these are digestible sound bites brought to you by Positive Energy Campaign. So please continue to help our sponsor, help us by subscribing to Positive Energy Campaign on YouTube. And of course, like the videos, comment. We'd love to hear from you.
And
Absolutely.
thank you for the positive energy.
That's right.
Yes.
And I do want to say it was snakes. It wasn't rats. It was snakes. Apologies.
St. Patrick.
St. Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah, people have no idea what you're talking about.
St. Patrick got rid of snakes, not rats, and I wanted to clear that up.
Okay,
thank you.
That makes it almost impossible to transition to our next story.
Exactly.
But anyway, Tori, let's do this. Speaking of positive energy, The astronauts are back.
Woo!
Yes. After an unexpected 9-month stay, and I want to get these names right. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore, which sound
Wait,
like...
say that again?
Sonny Williams,
And?
S-U-N-I Williams,
Okay.
and Butch Wilmore, which sound like people that my dad used to work with. Those are just two
At the
old...
plant.
Yeah, at the phone company. But my friend Butch is coming over.
Sonny and Butch are my friends in the band.
They are back after an unexpected 9-month stay in orbit. They are back. We are happy that they're
That's
back.
crazy. How long were they supposed to be there again?
Just a few weeks, I believe. Nine
9
9
days?
days?
9 days. So yeah.
Into 9 months? That's a movie.
Yes.
Right?
I thought you said nine weeks. Yes, that's an insane amount of time. They seem like they kept their positive energy up, which I don't know. I would have, because they kept putting the camera on them, and they'd be like, "We're fine," and they'd wave, and their hair would be floating. After a while, like there would be some stank looks, like "Get a." That would be the only communication from millions of miles away. It'd just be a. Come
Can
on
we
now.
just talk about how much of a blessing it is that they were able to return?
It's like Apollo
alive?
13
I mean,
issue.
honestly, because when we first started telling this or talking about this story, seemed very grim. The situation is grim as is, but the idea of them having to stay longer, would they be able to safely return? Like those questions were very much up for debate, and to have them back on solid ground truly is a miracle.
And I do want to say, first of all, you're absolutely right. It was like The Martian. You know how they like got him back?
Yes.
That was a great movie. But I do want to say this really quick. Futurists and psychologists will definitely, I know this is like a silver lining in this, will be able to study these people because they will have had people that didn't expect to be in space that long and ended up that long. And we want to know how long space travel will treat you and your mind. So I think they'll be extensively studied, and I think that will be, to be honest, a boom or boon for science, because I don't know if we've had that many people up there for that long other than the mirror. But
That sounds like the worst coming home present. Hey, so we trapped you in space for 9 months.
Now
but
let's
good
study you.
news, we're going to make you into lab rats.
But they're scientists.
But
they will
your
know.
lab rats on Earth.
Okay.
Erica-
I hope they're paid handsomely to
I hope so,
become
too.
lab rats.
Absolutely.
God.
But, they are back, and they are human beings, and human beings are going to do what they love when they've been denied it for at least 9 months. So, Erica, I'm going to start with you. What are 2 things that you would do upon getting your sea legs back, landing? Now, I want a nice thing that you would do, like go see a family member you love, and then like something that Erica would do to go kick it. And then Tori, I'm going to come to you with the same question.
You too, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely have all of my family and friends like come over to the house or something like that and bring all of my favorite dishes.
Yes.
Before I had those dishes, I would definitely get so high on marijuana.
Yes. What?
I would get so high.
Awesome answer.
I mean, because also I get very seasick. So it takes me a good week after being in the ocean for me not to feel like I'm still in the ocean. So I couldn't imagine being without gravity for 9 months.
They're so atrophied.
Like I think you would have to get high to feel like you're halfway normal.
Totally.
Absolutely. And just to a significantly lesser extent, I remember when we were slowly coming back from COVID, it was just Tori and I and a few other people in the studio. And as the restrictions lifted and people started more and more coming into the office, I was like, it's loud in here. It's like, you hear people, it had been quiet for so long. So I wondered, Tori, was it like startling at first? It just like, as soon as you come back, you're like, here's somebody other than this face I've been staring at for almost a year.
Yeah, that's almost like a deprivation sensory tank. And all of a sudden it's like everything. First off, I'm joining Erica, as is all of our audience. I haven't heard from some of you ever. And you're like, me
Emma
too.
W.
Like,
Me too, Erica.
Susie Needles, she was like, I'm in. Like, awesome. So we definitely
I'm in if we don't go to space.
like, let's just get high as one thing. But what I mean by that is I would have to have some mind altering help. Okay, but what I really would do is I would go on a vacation that's like not too populated so I can ease back in, right? Get me
That's a good idea.
deserted island. I can kind of get a little naked. I can be by myself. I can be with my husband. I can be like relaxed, and I can just kind of come back to nature.
That's it. Look, normally I make fun of you, but you just forget that like you haven't felt grass underneath your feet.
Yeah, or the wind,
or
or like sound, or any of that. So I would be one with nature, naked on a beach.
Absolutely.
What about you, Al?
You know, Eric, I thought about this because I wanted to pose this question to you guys, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to answer this, and my honest answer would be the first thing I would do as soon as I could wrap my head around getting on another vessel to fly somewhere, I would go to New Orleans immediately.
Why New Orleans?
Because
That's too loud.
the music and the sound and the people, I think would just kind of like, New Orleans has always been it's very almost like a spiritual place for me. I just love that city.
Cool.
I love the energy in that city, and I love the food and the culture.
You don't think you'd be overwhelmed?
I might take a week.
Oh,
before
when the
I-
Saints, and you're like, good Lord, good Lord.
I was when the last time I was in New Orleans, I went for the All-Star game, and I was checking into my hotel, and a circle line just came right into the lobby, and just like, you know,
Why did I all of a sudden, like, I'm listening to you and you sell this so well. I'm literally thinking, could we go to New Orleans?
why
Would you
would
guys,
not?
Nick, Jacob, Michael Dean, should we go to New Orleans?
Oh, all of us? I was
Oh.
talking about me and my husband.
Oh,
Tori not only invited herself, but 5 other people.
can we
Can
use
we
your
stay with
jet?
you?
Can we use your jet?
Sure. Yeah, we can all go to New Orleans on the jet. Now, my husband and I will probably be on United.
That's so funny.
We land and we're like, who's paying for this?
Sea Dog P just wrote, New Orleans was just voted best city in the world for food. I
Yes.
wouldn't doubt it. What if it went to like Little Rock?
Well, Little Rock's got great barbecue.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's,
I didn't
you don't
mean
have to. You don't have to apologize. Our Little Rock contingent. I will say
I didn't
this.
Arkansas saw that
First
one
of all,
coming.
my apologies. I did not say a formal "What's up" to the Night Owls. I wanted to give this to you guys because I learned it when I was in New Orleans. A little hack when you're there. When you go to a restaurant, if you take a bottle of liquor, bottle of rum, bottle of scotch, you give it to the hostess. Say this is for the kitchen. You send it back to the kitchen, and the kitchen will normally start sending you dishes out that are off menu.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
So, at any restaurant in New Orleans?
A local
How
one,
much
yeah.
rum am I going to be buying?
Absolutely. You just go there and you just take a bottle, you know, still in the bag, and you say, this is for the kitchen. And they
That's
won't be
awesome.
like, what is this? They'll be like, thank you. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
It's a
Oh my
special
gosh,
city.
I love this. I think I want to go next week.
It's the best
Wait,
city.
I thought we were going. No, I'm just kidding.
We're all going
Yeah,
when
right.
I get the jet.
All right, that's fair. Julie Ward says, I'd probably get a massage.
Oh, that's a good
Julie.
one.
Okay.
All right. Well, we are going to transition. What's wrong with a massage?
I was like,
Do you like massages?
so some people don't like to be touched, right?
My girlfriend doesn't like them.
I love a massage.
Oh, me too.
I love a massage.
Yes.
I guess I don't get the point.
Oil me up and
You don't
rub
get
them
the
out.
point of joy, Al.
I
It's been
don't.
well documented.
It's
yes, a
boring.
massage is amazing.
good
I
for
mean,
you.
if you can get a good massage, like it will change your life.
Mm.
And if you're able to like submerge in the water at in a hot tub or something
Mm-hmm.
after.
Erica went through the whole water cycle, remember? In our
Yes.
Las Vegas spa.
We went to Vegas. We went to the Encore. They have like a really great water room, and so it's like cold, like freezing cold, then a little bit under that, and then a little warm, and then you get into like the hot plunge.
She
So
did
it's a
each
whole
one.
cycle.
Well, I just
Why
sat.
would you get into a freezing cold?
I just sat there.
It's a cold plunge.
I didn't do it.
It's great.
Okay.
It was amazing.
I just
love
sat
it.
there and watched her. I'm like, go, Erica. I was in my bathing suit. Woo.
I
re-
love a good cold plunge.
I talked to my girlfriend this week about me learning how to relax and enjoy myself.
Oh, wow.
But my suspicion about vacation was kind of valid because we're going to talk about this probably in a future show. But we watched all of Temptation Island.
Oh,
and
my
I
gosh,
was like, they
yes.
looked so bored after a while. How long can you relax in the sunshine?
No.
And Erica, we will get to the show,
we
but
will.
like the idea.
Tease that out though,
Yes.
because Night Owls, make sure you watch Friday's episode. If you haven't watched Temptation Island, spoiler alert, watch it before Friday. And then come back because we're going to dissect some things. And it is amazing.
Is that the one, I just want to make sure, where they want to have the sex, but they can't have the sex?
No. That is Love. No, not Love Island. That's with the.
Yeah, what is that?
Where you can't touch?
Is that Love Island?
Too
hot to handle.
Jacob,
yes, that's Too Hot to Handle.
That's Jacob's girlfriend channeling through him. Yes.
Yeah. Too Hot to Handle. Temptation Island are couples who come on to be tempted by singles to see if they make it through.
Oh, I gotta watch
And then
this.
they either leave together or they don't. So that's on Friday's episode. Watch that.
Yes.
Damiana goes, I'm not watching.
Damiana, I said the same thing.
Black Asian, no.
I said the same thing. Julia said my shoes are very relaxing. Julia, thank you for buying. She bought a pair of Nico and Jolie. So yes.
That's awesome.
I didn't get mine.
I sent out. You guys left yours here.
I didn't get mine.
Because you gave
here.
us the wrong sizes, and then I forgot to ask Sam for the ones that were my size.
Right.
And then
Oh, you didn't get yours?
No, I wasn't here.
Oh, you weren't here.
Yes.
Well, I will ameliorate that problem.
Great
Yes.
word.
What if I just started using big words?
I will
for
assuage your concern.
If you could bring me my size 10,
I
yes.
will absolutely do that.
proud
And
size
Julia,
10.
thank you
proud size
for checking us out on Etsy. I do want to get to this story, one, because he's a comic, two, somebody I've worked with in the past and is maybe the most eccentric human being I've ever met in person. Tracy Morgan,
Yeah.
famous comic, probably second to Spike Lee in terms of being a famous New York Knicks fan. My man got sick at the basketball game.
Courtside.
He had to stop
He
the
got
game.
sick, and he sits in the front row. He sits on the floor. So the game had to be stopped while things were cleaned. So Erica, he attributed it to food poisoning, and it made me think, I got to
that what he said?
Yes. I have to ask the girls, what is your worst food poisoning story? Talk to me.
Oh, man.
Because we all know, it's one of those things you don't have to think about.
Yes. As soon as, everybody knows if you've ever had food poisoning, everything about that day. So I was 12 years old. I was at Kittyland, which is like it's like a carnival, but it's not a moving carnival. And it's outside of Chicago. And I was there with youth group for church. And I was wearing a white tank top bodysuit with black shorts. I remember this very clearly because when we decided to leave Kittyland and walk across the street to a certain sub spot, I remember thinking like, oh, I got to be careful because I don't want to spill anything on my shirt because it was white, right? Didn't have to worry about spilling anything on my shirt because we get there and I remember the first bite of this turkey sandwich, I knew something wasn't quite
Isn't
right.
it interesting how your body tells you?
Yeah, it
And
was
we
like-
override our natural animal instincts.
I knew something wasn't right, but I was hungry and I kept
I was
eating
hungry.
it. And so I ate it, and all of a sudden, and I was my nickname in junior high and high school was String Bean. Because I was like very lanky.
Oh,
and all of a sudden,
wish.
I was just like a very lanky kid, And all of a sudden, my bodysuit, my belly starts just like I could see it growing.
Like the Nutty Professor.
It was the craziest thing. And there was nothing I could do. I was like, why? And all of a sudden I had a very round, swollen belly. And I remember thinking, I look like I'm pregnant, but I'm not pregnant. Like, this is what's going through my 12-year-old brain.
Pregnant with a sub baby.
Yes. And so then I knew I couldn't get back on any rides because I just wasn't feeling quite right. And then finally we got back. My cousin picked me up and she had this black sports car. And we got all the way home. The ride was about 40 minutes. So it was a long ride. We got about 5 minutes away from my house. And while the car is going on the interstate, I tried to put the window down. My eyes rolled in the back of my head, so I couldn't see. So I just did the next thing and just opened the door and just
While the car was moving?
Yes, while the car was moving.
It's a spew and
And
go.
I,
Drive-by spewing.
extracted the sub. And it was bad. I was sick for like a few days. I could not
Absolutely.
get out of bed.
That's
It was
one
so
of the
bad.
underlying things with food poisoning is people think like, oh, I got that out. It stays with you. And Tori, what about you?
Well, it just haunted her since she was 12. That's terrible. I recently had food poisoning from, I won't say where, it was a Roadhouse. It was this. Did I give it away?
Was it associated with a specific state?
I think it was Illinois Roadhouse.
Yeah, it was Rhode Island Roadhouse. And I got so sick that I had to call an ambulance because
What?
You had to call an ambulance?
husband was sick too, and so no one could like take
I
care of.
remember you told me this.
So we were both just like so sick, but they brought me to the crappiest hospital. I won't say where, but it rhymes with Bruthrin.
Okay.
I hope I don't get in trouble. And it was so bad that I was so sick, and I was just like, no one would pay attention. I was screaming for help. And the man, they opened my door, and I was like, help, help. And a man, I'm not joking, as I felt like I was about to die and I was screaming for help, an old man in a gown just starts walking by and then just falls, hits his head, and the blood starts coming. And I'm like, where am I? And no one was coming for help, and no one was coming for him. And I tried to get to him, but I was on an IV. It was an awful experience. And I was screaming for help. And then as soon as they saw him, they're like, let's get you up to the MRI. And like, it was just not a great place to go.
So he skipped you in line.
Yeah. It was just
that's
such
one way to get
yeah.
past the triage.
We all needed help, and no one was helping us. But I love nurses, and I didn't mean to be rude.
Well, I will just say I'm sorry that happened apparently in the emergency room, but their oncology department.
Excellent.
At
Excellent.
Bruthrin?
At Bruce.
Okay. Well, I've told my Mexico City food poisoning story, so I went back to another one, and I think this shows you how great Mexico and Central America are, that like every single time, and I've been to Mexico 25 times, I would say 92% of that, best case scenario, I'm just like a little sick. That's how great Mexico is. I know I'm gonna get sick, and I'm like, where's my ticket? Where's my ticket? This one actually is, I was in Costa Rica when I lived in Miami. I had a girlfriend that lived in Costa Rica, so I went there quite often. And my buddy, who I've mentioned on the show before, my brother from another mother, my boy Mark, met me down there. We are leaving. We had our vacation. We're leaving. We stop at a Denny's before we get to the airport. A Denny's in Costa Rica, right outside the airport. Shout out.
Dude, don't go to a Denny's.
Well, there weren't a lot of options.
Okay, I'm sorry.
At 5 a.m. right outside of San Jose. And we both ate. He got on a flight, went back to Cleveland. I got on a flight, went back to Miami. And I get a phone call from Mark's dad. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, why? And he goes, Mark had to go to the hospital for food poisoning. And I'm like, what? That must have been that Denny's, but not me. And 2 days after I had that phone call, I guess mine was just a slow mover, just like a hurricane that's in the Atlantic and slowly makes landfall.
Tropical storm.
His was more like a tornado, I guess. Mine was just a slow moving.
Like a tsunami.
Erica?
Are those slow moving?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think-
Tsunami's a tidal wave.
I think
That's generated by an earthquake.
Okay.
Nothing to do with it.
All right.
But I was in so much pain, and I just remember thinking, I don't know what
worst.
death feels like,
Right.
but it cannot be that much different.
Don't you wish?
It
don't
can't be that much different.
Did you pray to God? Because I prayed. I was like, dear God, even Jesus. Like, I am Jewish, but I was like, Allah, Buddha, Jesus. Like, I'll take anybody.
What if Jesus showed up, but he was very dismissive towards you? He's like, I'll help you, but I'm not going to smile. We'll get you together.
Man, it sucks. It's
Yes.
the worst. It's the worst.
It absolutely does. And the worst thing about it,
Jesus is
just to wrap this subject up, the worst thing about it is when it happens with one of your favorite foods.
Yes, because I could not eat at this sub place.
Yes, next to
for
Lutheran Hospital.
I could not eat there for 20 years.
Oh God.
I remember the day I walked back in.
Oh, that's
because
hard.
tried to walk in just like a week or so, like after, had to walk right back.
I'm
in.
sure
I could
the
not
smell, yeah.
The smell, yeah, right.
I could
Yeah.
not smell it.
No.
Yes.
Someone just wrote, I don't care. Never cared for Denny's.
Marquita.
Well, it's.
Julie, Costa Rica is amazing, but never at Denny's.
I like how you guys just think like I had options.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
we are around.
that's
There's
true.
nothing. So, all right. Well, let's talk about my favorite food, but in a positive way. Technically, this morning, because the game was in Japan, opening day for Major League Baseball started. I know a lot of our audience might be like, all right, I'm sure you guys are like, cool. But to my girlfriend, this is all of her holidays wrapped up. My girlfriend loves baseball. And there was an article about the opening day foods. So I'm going to throw this at our night owls. I want you guys to chime in.
You guys
and I'm
love
going-
talking about food.
I want you guys to pick one of these four.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys could head on to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Okay.
And get some s'mores quesadillas, which have Nutella, mini marshmallows, and graham cracker crumbles inside of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. All right, Philly.
All right,
I
now
see.
we're talking. Now we're talking.
Or you guys could stay local.
Okay.
Okay.
Go on out to Rocky Stadium, where they have dessert nachos, and they feature cinnamon, berries, caramel, and more.
Okay. All right. I can get down with the and more.
That seems very odd.
Okay.
Cinnamon and berries and more.
What are the nachos made out of?
Okay, here's
Like, are they like sopapilla nachos?
see, Erica.
Great
I'm
question.
thinking because have you guys seen? It's in the chip aisle, but they're nachos, but they have cinnamon on them.
Oh yeah.
If
sweet.
they're those,
little sweet, you're into it.
that might be a
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
I might
All
be
right,
into that.
okay.
That's okay.
I could do that.
Okay.
I
Yes,
could do that.
and also those things have caused so many arguments in my house because my girl will be like, "You ate the whole bag." I'm like, "We have 2 bags.
Oh god.
This is my bag.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I can't stop eating them. I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I
I'm
There's a
just-
problem.
I'm
see
one
why. I
man.
can see
To be
why.
honest though, I'm still with the s'mores quesadilla.
Okay, so right now
Yeah.
you're
because
in.
it's hard to eat the berries with the chip. That doesn't seem like
I'm
a right.
assuming you like the
Scoop.
berries are in some kind of whipped cream, so it would almost be like the guac is.
It's scooping.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
care
good.
for that. I like the
It's
s'mores.
the
so
scoopy
far.
nature.
Okay, well, we're not done with our tour of Major
Okay.
League Baseball stadiums. Guys, if you want to go on to Kansas City, have some good ribs, hear some great jazz, you can go to a Royals game and have a blue velvet whoopie pie.
Ooh.
That sounds like the name
that
of a
is
horse.
not-
It does.
Blue velvet
I'm
whoopie
not
pie
a
coming in
whoopie.
two.
I'm not an OG whoopie, and I'm not a blue velvet whoopie.
Agreed.
I'm not with the whoopie.
Now, tell everybody what a
You are with the whoopie.
whoopie pie is. It's like there's marshmallow in between marshmallow.
That sounds so
What
good.
is-
Michael, do you
Isn't
know
it
what
like
a whoopie pie is?
cakey? It's two.
Oh, there it is. It's on the screen. Yeah.
Soft cake.
It's been on the screen the whole
cookies,
time.
And then there's like what is it in the
It
middle?
looks like
it's
a-
not whipped cream. It's something thick.
It's like a vanilla cream, buttercream. I think it might be
That sounds-
buttercream.
I don't think it's buttercream. Buttercream's good. The
We are hating on the whoopie pie.
No, it's the one that looks like buttercream, but it's thicker and more sugary.
Like fondant?
Yeah, like
Oh,
close
God.
to that texture.
Fondant is very hard.
It's
That's what
disgusting.
you
Yeah, but
Interesting.
it's closer to a fondant texture than a buttercream texture.
Okay. Can I say something? I don't care for blue foods at all.
Okay.
Okay.
There's not that many, and
What
that is
about like gummies, like gummy bears and stuff like that?
yeah, I'll take that. But I don't like this. Doesn't look appetizing to me. A blue that I
That would
pass.
make so many kids so happy, and we also would be able to identify them by the ring around their
their mouth and their
Absolutely.
tongue.
As
Looks
they're
like you
telling
like
they didn't have any.
you made
Yeah.
out. With, yeah, you made out with a Smurf.
I didn't have any.
You know.
All right, now your final choice. You can head on down to H-Town.
Okay.
Is that Houston?
Houston.
Yes.
Houston.
What else could H-Town be?
It could have been Helsinki.
I just got back from H Town.
yeah, you did.
Great city.
Is it
Huge city.
Houston? Never been.
Oh,
Want to go?
Houston, very diversity
Oh.
also as well. I believe the largest percentage of Indian Americans are
We
in
don't
Houston?
know what's going on at the stadium, Al.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm packed with facts. Erica, you
Or
could
maybe
go down
facts.
to you could go down to Houston and have a chicken waffle sandy sandwich plus a Daddy Mac hot dog that's loaded with brisket and macaroni and cheese.
All in one.
Okay.
Yes. So you can
No, it's two different things, right?
right. It's the
Okay.
yeah,
Daddy Mac
and the chicken and waffle.
and the chicken and waffles.
Daddy Mac.
Yeah, I would definitely go with the chicken and waffles. I want to shout out a restaurant in Houston called Taste. Taste was so tasty. But they had every different type of. They had chicken and waffles, catfish and waffles. Like
I guess you could do anything with
There were
waffles.
it was lit. I had grits. It was good. You can do anything with waffles. You really can. Yeah. Is that the list of all the stadium
That
foods?
is. So what is our final report? So Tori, what city are you going to?
I'm immediately headed over to the Philadelphia Pittsburgh Pirates, or the Philadelphia, what's the baseball team there?
Phillies?
The Phillies. That's
It'd be weird
redundant.
if it was Philadelphia, Pittsburgh.
Okay, so that's redundant. But the Philadelphia Phillies, I'm going to have the s'mores quesadilla. Who's with me?
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
It's easy
good.
for me to hold. It's not too clumsy, but I'm getting the texture of the graham cracker mixed with the chocolate and a little bit of lightness with the marshmallow. Is there a hair in my mouth?
No, I don't think so.
Erica?
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Houston Astros.
Yes.
Nice,
Yes.
Erica.
I'm gonna go with the Houston Astros with the chicken and waffles.
Nice.
Over the Daddy Mac hot dog. You can't have both.
See, I'm very particular about my hot dogs. I'm a Chicago girl.
Yes.
So a hot dog needs to be a certain way.
They don't
Which
have
is
ketchup,
what?
right?
No ketchup. I like if I have to do a bland hot dog, I will go with just mustard and relish. But if I'm going with the Mac Daddy hot dog, I'm gonna do a full Chicago, traditional Chicago style dog.
Okay. And just to stay in good standing with my girl, I'm gonna stay here in Colorado.
And what is that?
And have
yeah.
the nachos.
The nachos.
You better eat your
Absolutely. I know.
nachos and sit in the corner.
Eat it. Eat it.
I love stadium food.
Me too.
I
do too.
I'm a person who, if I know I'm going to a game, I will not eat all day.
That's a good point.
Because I want to be able to get the thing at the stadium. And I remember when I still lived in Chicago, we had a friend who played for the White Sox. And I lived like 2 train stops away from the White Sox, US Cellular at that time. And so I would go because he would just leave tickets. So like 10 minutes to get there. I would go sometimes multiple times a week.
Yes.
And just go in, eat this particular, it was the shaved corn off the cob with like butter, like I think cream,
like
sour
an elote?
cream.
Like an
Yeah.
elote.
It's Mexican street
Oh
food.
my gosh.
Mexican
And
street
then they
corn.
had
That's
Maxwell Street, which is a famous street in Chicago. And it's the Maxwell Street Polish with the grilled onions. I gained so much weight while he was playing for the White Sox.
A lot of people said they gained weight. while
Erica,
this-
I would argue you gained joy.
I did.
That
I
is
gained
wonderful.
so much weight and so much joy. I could smell it now. It was the most amazing thing ever. And I was just like, oh, this is cool. We get free tickets. And now I'm like going to eat every day at US Cellular.
that sounds amazing.
I think I don't know if it's an age thing, but obviously it helped that I started dating somebody that works in Major League Baseball. But I started going to multiple games a week. And at first I was like, sit through a 9-inning baseball game. Now I get there and just sit down.
You relax.
The game's going on, but baseball's like, you can watch it, but sometimes everybody's just standing, and that's
Yeah.
fine too.
Yeah.
Everybody's just standing on a grass field. It's the being outside, it's a different vibe. I'm a big hoops fan, but hoops move so fast. We went to a game the other day, Erica, but it's hard to talk because you're like, oh my, we're losing, we're winning.
Yeah.
And football, I would not take you guys because there's a lot of drinking.
I went to Michigan.
It's
Dick.
different. It's different. It's different than NFL games, buddy. People are hammered.
So you
I'm
don't
gonna
think
not
we
all
can
drinking
handle,
white wine.
You don't think we
Okay.
can handle going to a football game?
I think you can, but it's football games.
I hope so, seeing as how I've been a season ticket holder for the Broncos for the past
I
10 years.
yes, but you.
Elote.
I am just.
It's not for you, little ladies.
It's not. It's not even that. No.
it was a Wolverine, yo.
People at football games are incredibly drunk. One of my best friends, John Vargas, he lives in Miami. He said he was at a Dolphins game and there was this guy just walking up and down the stairs, cursing so much at the team that he could tell like the fans around him weren't with him. And he said the guy just turned around and eventually was like, "I'm sorry, guys. It's just we're all out here trying to cheer." And he just like he felt, but everybody just feels like I'm drunk. I can just yell MFer at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
my
Like
God.
you're really upset.
Oh
All right.
my gosh.
Do you guys know what the reheating nachos means?
I've heard this.
Yeah, does
thing,
anyone know what
but
that
yeah,
means?
I think
Oh, is that what it means?
No, it was something that was happening a few weeks ago.
Okay, sorry. I thought it was a trend we could talk about. But no, okay, moving on. Sorry.
But there is a trend we can talk about.
Okay, sorry. I thought it was something cute.
I can't believe that you took what Nick said at face value.
Yeah, it wasn't true, but also it's not a trend anymore because that was like 3 weeks ago.
It was. I'm always late.
Yes, well, that's a
always
problem
late.
with trends. All right, well, I wonder if Kim Kardashian is aware of the Tesla brand and how it is trending, because
I don't know
Erica,
about that segue.
our girl, you're just mad about the reheated nachos.
Now I want nachos.
I want nachos too.
Right?
Well, yeah, I have thoughts on nachos. We could do a whole show about food.
Maybe not.
Yeah, but I would love it.
You have a thing against nachos? Okay, sorry.
No, but just like after you get past the top layer with all the cheese, like what do you do? Now you're just looking
That's
for the
because
nacho
it was
with.
uneven distribution, and your nucleus cannot be in the middle.
But
Now
who
move
can
on.
evenly distribute it?
You do that very easily if you're at home. There's layers on top of layers on top of layers. It's no different than icing a cake. Okay, let's move on.
You're not getting all the nachos.
Yes, you
they
are.
They don't all
That's
have the same
reason
amount of cheese.
why-
They don't.
No, what you do is you get an actual tray, like a cookie tray, and then you put all of the nachos down and you sprinkle. You cover every single one, and then you put your other toppings that aren't the primary top of toppings.
It's like
and then you go
polyamory.
each thing, and you layer it, and that way every single nacho is the perfect bite.
Erica
So
Cobb
we can
making
move on.
nachos into a full-time job.
That was amazing.
It's a lot of work.
Totally.
It's worth it.
Good for her. That was really good. I did not see that coming.
All right.
What about the Kardashian?
Yes, we're gonna
Okay.
get right on that. Kim Kardashian decided to do a photo shoot atop a Tesla. Apparently, Elon.
No, a Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
Is that a Tesla?
Yes.
Well, it's under the Tesla
Yes.
brand.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
But it was a Cybertruck, which made it an even stranger photo shoot.
With an Elon Musk robot in the shot too.
Yes, that must be said. And we could talk about Elon, we could talk about Kim, but I want to talk about it a little bit more generally because, how people feel about politicians, certain parties, ebbs and flows with the tide. So, Erica, if you were the manager of any celebrity that's like, hey, I just got a bunch of money to pose next to this political item, do you think that's a good idea for celebrities to be doing that? Or should there be a separation of church and state? Because people are like, when I want to look at a celebrity, I don't want to immediately think about politics. That's probably why I'm looking at the celebrity to not think about politics.
Yeah.
When he's
so
upset.
I think it really does come down to how much do you need to work in the future? Like, are you dependent on other people for money, or are you independently wealthy? What we are seeing that no one wants to talk about, but I'm going to be quite clear. We're talking about, and the people say 1%. That's not what this is. This is 0.0001% of people who are saying, basically, the government was the last thing that was in my way of doing whatever the hell I wanted. Now it's not. And so I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. And who's going to stop me, boo? Like, that's literally what it is. So that means from setting policy to setting trend, you are going to see absorbently wealthy people just doing what they wanted to do anyway, if the opinions and buying power of others wasn't a thing.
I want to push back a little bit on this. I think Kim Kardashian, first of all, she also posted,
What is going on
I
with
have
you?
Winnie hair on my lip gloss.
Oh.
Okay. Kim Kardashian also posted Melania Trump recently on her Instagram within the week or two. And a lot of people are writing, does she need the money? Like, now I'm not interested. I got to be honest. I've always liked the Kardashians. You guys know from DBL. I thought they have their mind on brands in such a genius way that Kris Jenner's super smart. To me, this is a misstep. This was off. She clearly got money from Elon. She clearly wanted to help him because he lost $140 billion recently because people are mad. And I think she posed much like Trump did on the White House lawn with Teslers, as he called them. And I think she thought that this would be high tech, cool. I don't know. But
You think she did it for the money?
No, I think she did it for the photograph, and I think she did it for the exposure, and I think she did it.
She needed exposure.
Yeah, why else would she? She takes pictures every day. She continues to need the exposure and the fans in order to support her brand. And this one to me was a very, very rare Kardashian misstep because I think they missed the mark on where her fans are at. I don't know. To me, it made me feel like is she siding with Trump? I know she worked with him on prison reform, but it made me think of Kanye. It just brought up things that if I'm Kim Kardashian, I want to be so far away from that brand. I don't want to be near Elon Musk. I don't want to be near a Nazi salute or what might have been a salute that was uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to be involved in that at all. She did respond, by the way, to the backlash. And she's like, oh, I just thought it was funny that I looked more like the robot than the robot. But it was such a clear advertisement that it hit me the wrong way.
Erica, it seems like do you think that there's a different reason she might have done that? Or do you think
it. Oh, thank you, Nick, for our first super chat.
I can't believe you did that.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
We don't know him.
Thank
He's
you.
from where? Nick Holmby. We don't know him at all. Thank you so much. He has nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, I definitely.
I don't think they did vote for Trump, says Lee now. I think Khloe Kardashian is very pro-choice. I think Kendall Jenner. I think they're of that generation. I don't think they voted.
I'm so sorry.
Please.
I'm so sorry. Because unlike a lot of people who said that they did it for their fiscal interests, this is the group that would actually do something like that for the fiscal. They're the ones who are actually affected. I'm so sick of having people tell, well, it was about the economy and I needed my money. They were never going to protect you. I don't know how to explain this to people.
It was
like, I do not understand. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't. It's baffling to me. Like, it really is. And this is the demographic. This is the actual 0.001%.
I agree with that. But do you think that they would have advertised that? Because, like, let's say they did vote for Trump. I bet they wouldn't want that to be known. And for her to be laying on a Cybertruck.
Yeah, but for her, I mean, she's been very lightly breezing in the direction. I mean, she made a post about Melania and then this. And there's been indications. At the end of the day, though, I want people to truly understand this. Anytime that you are insulated in this way, and you do not have to be a 0.001%er, but you could be a 0.001%er in your industry, in your family, in your community. And there comes a point where you are actually insulated and untouchable, because the things that matter to you or matter to other people that they're going to try to punish you with don't matter to you. So now it's a battle of like the resource versus the consequence. Like, if I have a certain degree of resource and I can insulate myself from the scrutiny, and I mean, I feel in a lot of ways, this is a part of getting older too. When people are like, I get older and I don't worry about these types of things, but getting more financially insulated or insulated in this way is those are the most free people walking.
Well, what about it? What if it's just as simple as aligning yourself with power? I feel like.
But what kind of power? An oligarchy, scary power?
Yes.
I think they see power as just being power.
I think Kris Jenner is smarter, and Kim Kardashian knows if she wants to sell Skims to girlies, they are not going to be very pro-life.
But does she need to?
If she doesn't
sell
need to,
Skims?
why is she doing that? I mean, why is she spending her time promoting it over and over and over again with new marketing campaigns and spending the money? And then, to me, throwing that away with a picture on an Elon Musk Cybertruck.
Well,
those two things don't, to me, female empowerment and an Elon Musk ad don't go together for me.
Well, let me at least try to explain it from my point of view of why she might have done that.
Okay.
She's been selling Skims and different products for 10, 15, 20 years. She and her marketing team could say that we've milked this audience dry, but there is another audience that is fiercely loyal to those that are under that tent. I mean,
she's going to lose the other one.
But she's already made her money. Do you know what this makes me think about? You remember when we were doing on DBL, the Gillette razors had that ad about don't be a toxic man? Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pushback from a lot of older folks saying, I'm never going to buy Gillette again, this woke company. You won't have my money. And what I said on the show is it kind of applies to Kim, where I'm like, they already got your money, dude. If you got gray hair in your beard, Gillette ain't worried about you. Gillette wants my son. My son is 17. He's going to be shaving for the rest of his life. They got 30 years of me. So maybe we're seeing these shifts in marketing as they start to realize that that audience is, kind of getting a little older, getting a little tapped.
I love Good TV. Is that the username?
Who is this? Oh, I Love Good TV just gave us. Is that Canadian money?
Oh my gosh.
Is that Canadian
you
money?
are amazing. Thank you for the super chat.
I really appreciate. By the way, every time you guys do give us money, it helps us as our foundation. But a little cartoon comes up and dances.
Yeah.
And it's really fun.
I am not at the right angle to see
you
that.
can't-
So
yeah.
I was looking at both of you two, and I was looking at your faces, and I was like, I think porn is on the screen right now. Because your mouths just dropped open, and I was like, "What are you guys
Nick's
looking
like,
at?"
Al should see the porn.
Yes. Oh, thank you. And that was Nick. Shout out to Nick. He just changed the TV
I
angle.
love
So
the
Oh my
I
gosh,
appreciate
thank you.
That was really.
Canadian I Love Good TV. What province are you in?
Oh, she's kind of Canadian.
By proximity.
That's
There we
right.
I was
go.
going to say something
That is
else, but
so
it seemed
nice.
inappropriate.
There, Erica, we're talking about Skims. Have at it. No, and just to close the topic, I will say that we have seen celebrities that were not being talked about as much at this point in their career. Roseanne Barr, Kid Rock.
Oh,
and say what you want. She's back on TMZ.
Okay, is she back on television earning a living?
Do you understand like what these rallies pull in?
Okay, but she's canceled in a large societal climate
You
for
can't-
saying horrendous things about different groups, including racist things. I mean, Roseanne Barr is a bad idea to bring up. I think
Why?
because she said racist, anti-Semitic things. I don't
But
think she's.
I'm just talking about the sheer financial career decision. Whatever she said, the Kid Rock shooting up Bud Light cans, that was clearly a show to show this side, like, I'm one of you guys. I have a gun and I don't like Bud Light. So I just think maybe it might be a marketing strategy.
I just think that there comes a time where people have decided where they stand in terms of like what they're going to be influenced to do or not to do. And I think for a lot of people, it's a dollar amount, it's a power dynamic. And so therefore there's really no way to
like a dinosaur.
Just getting a good
There's
stretch.
no way to predict. I do want to say that I Love Good TV is in Montreal, Quebec.
Ooh.
I'm hoping to visit Montreal.
Yes.
I Love TV. Tu parles français?
I did.
Je parle français aussi.
I did want to ask one more
Or TV
question.
went out.
And it's great when you're sitting here chilling with the dog, because this is a little bit of a heavier conversation, and I did not prep this, but this is a live show, and it makes me think of things that I want to throw at the smartest people I know. So I want to ask you guys this. We're talking about celebrities aligning themselves with parties. There were several instances where in a post-game press conference, famous athletes put on MAGA hats. Is it impossible now to say, I can be friends with Erica or Tori and politics doesn't come up? Their politics don't matter to me.
I have a neighbor like this.
Is it possible to have any kind of real connection with somebody?
Well, oh my gosh, Julia Glukoff Gray.
Yes.
Love you guys. Oh, thank you for the super chat,
Thank you.
Julia.
So kind.
This is
Thank
really
you
great. Thank you,
That's
guys.
amazing.
I'm so touched.
I am too.
Are you touched, honey? I'm touched. I'm really touched.
We appreciate y'all.
Oh, so kind.
And although we're saying thank you and we appreciate all the support, you're under no, like, don't feel
no. I mean, if you want, but
if you want,
We'll
yeah.
never
but
say
like-
your name and we'll never address you.
Okay, this is very interesting because I think that this ties into something that is
And Erica, why don't
very
you
much
repeat
trending.
what I'm saying just so.
So you're asking, is it possible to be friends with someone who doesn't share your politics?
Let's
And-
say stark contrast.
yeah, that
like a
there's
MAGA
right.
liberal, right? Like,
Right.
that
Yes.
big. Okay.
But I think this kind of goes for any contrast, and I think we saw that play out in the latest season of Love Is Blind.
I love what you're about to bring up.
Because, yeah, and I think that a lot of people, especially younger people around that demographic, started to have these conversations that is what's happening. Women of that demographic, like, late 20s or 20s, 30s, type of situation, are going more liberal. And then the men around that age will couch it as fiscal conservative.
Yeah, like libertarianism.
right.
That's what they'll say.
But when it comes down to the actual deep talks about things, it turns out that the way that the woman feels about Roe v. Wade isn't the way that the men felt about Roe v. Wade. Social justice, it was more of, I believe in social justice, Black Lives Matter, all of that. And the other side was met with apathy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And apathy also is another way to absolve yourself of responsibility and participation. So it's interesting to have that conversation, because to see it play out in real time in that way was truly fascinating to me, because it really did confirm everything that I thought. And it's this pipeline of the idea that you can be with someone, and I'll say that is more of an intimate sense, because then when you have politics under the same household, things can go one way or the other.
Right.
But it's the idea that one side feels like it doesn't matter until it becomes something where you need to transition the other side. It's fascinating, and I think we're very, very early on in discussions about this.
Well,
I think so too.
Please. I was just going to say, Tori, and I want to hear what you have to say. We actually saw this play out on 2 different reality shows, almost parallel with each other, because it was Love is Blind. There was a white couple, and with Married at First Sight, there was a black couple. And but it was the same, but it shows you that skin color means less than ideology.
That's a
at
good
this
point about party.
Right.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, first of all, C-Dog, thank you.
Yes,
C-Dog
thank you for the super chat.
We C-Dog you, okay?
No, see,
that's what we do.
Can he take his money back? Because I think they will. And they'd be well within their rights.
C-Dog, don't take your money back. We apologize. Julie Ward!
Thank you, Julie.
Oh my, I feel like I should start taking things off. Bravo! I'm so thankful.
It's called reverting back to your training.
Oh my God, I love it. Keep them coming, guys. That means a lot to us. But I do want to say this. If you didn't see Love is Blind, the woman, it was in Minneapolis, and she was asked him specifically, what do you think of the George Floyd situation? Now, Love is Blind means they can't see each other. And she said, I have a very particular take.
You need to say that they were in Minneapolis.
I said.
Did you say that?
I said that. I'm glad you're listening. Okay? I'm really glad you're listening.
As soon as I said that, I was like, I think she said that.
So they're in Minneapolis. It happened in their backyard, and she's a young person and said, what do you think? And the man responded, and Erica, you're so right about apathy. Marquita Baker!
Thank you, Marquita, for the super chat.
I can't.
Okay.
He responded in the way that what Erica's saying is the young men of this generation. He said, I don't really have an opinion about it.
I almost fell off the couch, Tori.
It was also the way it was like, how do you feel about Black Lives Matter? I don't have an opinion about it.
It was the strangest way to respond. I have nothing to say. I clearly don't want to be on TV saying what it was. And for her, that was unacceptable. It was what do you call them? Where this is you.
A deal breaker?
A deal breaker. So it was like, oh, you're not like rich, you don't have this job, and you're not politically activated in the right way. That was one of the things that she broke it off with. And I thought that was fascinating. I think you're right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it was a deal breaker, because she did agree to get engaged.
You're right. But then she broke off the marriage.
She didn't say yes.
You're right. But
yeah.
Marcy
Ann!
All right.
Oh my gosh! Thank you, Marcy. Marcy and y'all are.
Listen, I am.
Oh my gosh!
I can't.
I'm just trying to be professional, but Marcy Ann, oh my God. I will say this. The super chats are amazing, but I'm just worried that we are going to be in the middle of a very serious. It'll be like, it appears
Parkland
9
shooting.
lives worth. Thank you.
Oh, that's so true.
Oh my God,
that's so kind of you.
Oh my gosh,
It is so
well,
appreciated.
how about this? Because we have 5 minutes left, and
We have 5 minutes left?
What do you mean? We have like.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
they started. Did we start the clock late? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's 5 minutes left. In the future, I think what we do is when we kind of stop down, we thank all of our super chatters.
Yes.
If we're in a serious.
Erica, when somebody gives money,
$50.
I don't care if I'm talking about my child's birthday. We are interrupting. We are breaking into live coverage, and that's the rules from now on. Erica's trying to police y'all money.
See, I'm not over here. To police the money. I was just also.
Can you wait to give us money? Thank you.
You present to make it less fun.
They presented a problem. I presented a solution.
She's right. Someone said Tori better come in with more clothes next time. Can you imagine I come in like a parka? What's up, y'all?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I want to end with this story because it's something that I've kind of been wrestling with. I saw this article that Justin Timberlake, in attempts to be, adding some levity to a situation, he was on a flight and he jumped on the.
This is JT.
Justin Timberlake, yes. He jumped on what I call the God mic, and he was talking to the cabin and apparently trying to be funny. And I'm sure it was a big deal because it is a famous person that's on the flight and being jocular with you. But just
jocular and ameliorate. Good words.
But in general, how do you guys feel about people being funny with a service you paid for? Erica, do you like a funny waiter that's got some clear jokes prepared? Do you like a funny flight attendant, Tori? Or are you guys just like, just get me there?
I love people who are personable, because obviously if you're going somewhere to eat, you don't want, you want to feel like people want you to be there. Obviously if you're on a flight, you don't want to feel like you're a burden to the crew, But if you're someone who is another passenger, regardless of how famous you are, like, it's one thing to just be like, hey, how long was he on there for? Because it seemed like it was kind of an extended, and I'm very sensitive to just random messages during the flight, because every time that goes off, I'm like, ooh, what are they going to say? Can I not go to the bathroom? Are we going to hit turbulence? Is this bad? Is it good?
Right.
So like just that noise of there being an announcement on a plane is jarring to a lot of people. So I could see people being a little annoyed.
So I love a funny flight attendant, and I love when they do Delta. Do you remember this? They're like, dance contest for an upgrade, and people go all out. Like, I like when someone brings a room together. That's really important to me. So I would love a funny flight attendant. Now,
I would hate that in a way that it would round the flight.
Okay, let me say something. But I would not like Justin Timberlake trying to be a funny flight attendant. I have a lot to say about Justin Timberlake. I don't like him a lot. That's all I have to say. I just think he's kind of been on the down lately, and I think he's like trying to rebuild his image.
This had PR management team phone call all over it. Like it was already pre-staged. She's gonna, and that's my issue. Is if you are just funny in general,
right? Like me,
like Tori would be great as a flight attendant. But I don't like when I'm on a flight and as a comic, I can tell when this is a bit. When you're like, fasten your anybody under 12 years old, or if your husband acts like he's under 12 years old, and you're like, boo, boo, boo.
See, I like that.
Can I go
Not
to
the boo.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I really dig that. With me, what I always look for with any kind of staff, because I've had all of these jobs, is I look at their eye movements with each other when I can tell they hate a table.
Good call.
I like the inside baseball. Like I always look, I'm like, oh, that waitress and that bartender hate each other. I like that I like gritty, weird stuff like that. But that's just me. I don't like the rehearsed act. So like, do you like a Dick's Last Resort, and tell everybody what that is?
So yeah, I went in Boston to Dick's Last Resort, and it's not what you think it is. Okay. Okay, I thought that would get laughs, but not.
What if we
all.
just saw all the donations vaporize?
Oh my God, Marcy, don't. Dick's Last Resort is where you pay, and it's kind of pricey for the waitresses and waiters to treat you badly on purpose. So it's sort of like self-flagellation a little bit. But like we were like, hey, could we grab this? And like, you'll get what you want, what we want. And then they threw down chicken sandwiches, and they're like, you suck and you're ugly. Yeah. And then I paid like $50.
Yeah, I lost my shirt at a Dick's Last Resort.
Oh my God, tell the story. How did you lose a shirt?
So Dick's Last Resort in Chicago used to be like the after party for the athletes ball. So, it's right before graduation, whatever. And all.
I'm sorry, I was at the players ball, but continue.
I'm not at any balls.
The athletes ball. So all of the athletes at the university that I went to, They did a big end of the year thing, and it was really nice. It was like at Four Seasons, and then we'd walk over to Dick's Last Resort. And I had this 2-piece where it was like a long ball skirt, but my shirt was like a metal, and it crossed in the back. And so I had like a ball.
Were you beyond Thunderdome?
What do you mean?
No, it crossed like, like strings in the back.
Oh,
and
okay.
It was metal in the front.
Okay.
And I get to Dick's Last Resort, and one of the metal rings popped. And because it was a metal, like a mesh shirt, it fell. And one of the basketball players who I was talking to, this was like the sweetest. I get chills thinking about this. It happened so fast that like my shirt fell, and then I went over, and he immediately went over. Like I was like down, and then he like
covered,
like bridged me and took off his jacket and then like draped it over me.
Was this the bodyguard?
I'm in love. It happened like that. It was so fast, and it was such a large jacket that like it just looked like at that point.
Is that code for something?
No,
it was such a large jacket.
He wears a large jacket.
Anyway, yes. So I lost my shirt, but this young man was so sweet.
I like when people give cover.
Yes.
That's really, if you're a guy and you see a girl having a wardrobe malfunction and you like cover, that's really sexy. That's very romantic. That's very kind.
Can it get a little bit too much?
Yeah, if you're like, okay, I'm good, back up.
Like, why are you still on top of me?
I'm good. Yeah, was it Kevin Costner?
It was not Kevin Costner.
Oh, that would have been
His
better.
name was Brian.
Wouldn't that have been? She was like, it was.
All right. Well, dare I say, this has been one of the absolute best daytime talks.
This was really good.
What a great show. Night Owls. I was just happy y'all came to watch. Now you guys start throwing money on the stage.
That's why it was.
Shake it up.
That's amazing.
Yes,
Thank you so
guys,
much, because y'all know that we're doing this, because we love y'all and it helps. So
it really does help.
Yes.
Yeah, because someone actually wrote in like "Don't Stop Believin'" or something, not like a Journey song, but what you guys said was really, sometimes it's hard when you just keep coming up. And anyway, thank you for that. It means a lot.
What? No, we're not ending the show.
What?
With that random sequence of fragmented
I was just saying,
verbs.
I was just saying thank you. I was saying thank you
Right,
because it's hard sometimes.
But what's hard sometimes?
Showing up day after day and like really believing in a goal.
A week.
And week after week.
If you guys don't love Tori Shulman, I can't help you. I love this human being so much. I also love Erica Cobb.
Yes.
You guys are my girls, my people. Night Owls. You guys and your support means everything. So on behalf of Dude IDK Studios, on behalf of Positive Energy and the Daytime Talk After Dark crew, we'd like to say peace. Bye, Night Owls.